So I missed both my classes again, which means that I haven't been to those 2 classes at all this week, which is a great second week of the semester. I was up late last night helping a friend who's out in California. I'm pretty sure she's breaking up with her boyfriend. It's her first, like, serious relationship, so it's really hard for her to make that decision. Also, she's Chinese, and she has a lot of pressure from her parents to get married young, and she feels like she's getting old, which to me is just preposterous because she's like 21. But still, the pressures that are put on her are the pressures that are put on her, so it's tough for her. And I was talking her through that a little bit last night. Right now I'm going to meet a friend who wants me to work for his company. His company does IT support for nonprofits in our city. There are like kind of 2 sides to this, in that like I don't really want to do IT work, and I don't want to get trapped in doing IT work, but I really do need the money, and I do want to work with nonprofits. So it's kind of a compromise, I guess, and I want to help him out as well, because his partner left, and you know, he's on his own now, running this company all on his own, and it's hard for him to support all of his clients just by himself. I think he's a little bit overwhelmed with it. One thing that I want to help him to do is to kind of take the company in a different direction, because I don't think that just doing IT work is very stable, being that what he's got going for him is that he can do the support work very cheaply. So he's the only company that any of the nonprofits in town can afford. However, if the technology changes, or if the other IT companies can lower their prices enough, then he's cut out of the market. But he has a master's degree in engineering, and if he took his firm into the direction of doing engineering consulting or development work, he would have a much more stable place. And that's more of the kind of thing that I want to do. So I want to talk to him today. I'm going to suggest that maybe we try to move in that direction. So what I want to do is do technical development for nonprofits or for organizations that are involved in LGBT issues, especially trans issues and feminist issues, and give them technology that maybe they wouldn't have even thought of using, but I can introduce them to them, show them what they can do with it, and I can charge very, 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 very low rates for it, because I support it, but also be able to support myself through my work that way. And that way I could be making an impact and making my living at the same time. And so I want to start out doing that here in town, and then eventually I want to move out to San Francisco, so hopefully I can move it out there, along with whatever type of freelance work I would be doing to support myself. Yesterday I went to, my therapist is an associate professor at my university, and she was giving a lecture. I think it's part of a lecture series for people going into studying, to be clinical therapists. And her talk was on the transitioning stages of a transgender person and how to support them through that, as well as talking about the general process, and kind of just introducing them to all these issues. I went to go see it because I like to see things from different perspectives, and it's helpful for me to see those different perspectives and how she is thinking of this and what her process is. And one of the main points of her presentation was they did a study, a qualitative study, looking at basically just talking to trans people and asking them questions about their emotional states. And what they found in that study was a trend from the pre-transition stage through the transition stage to the post-transition stage. And what they saw was that in the pre-transition stage, there are a lot of negative emotions that are obstructive and repressive and harmful. And then in the transition stage, those hardships get a little bit worse, but there's also this introduction of more positive, affirming type of emotions, and having more confidence in self and being more honest with yourself. And that then in the post-transition stage, those affirming emotions then became the majority of what they were feeling, with the negative ones being much smaller. And that's one of the things she focused on, was the hope of it, that transition is a very difficult stage in your life, and it's probably the most difficult for a lot of people, but that it's something worth doing, that there is hope for you, that it is a way to help yourself. I found that helpful in hearing the quotes from some of the people that have been through the transition. I mean, some of them were hard to hear, the hardships were hard to hear, but also their successes, I got very emotional about, and it did give me a lot of hope. And I think I might ask her for that presentation so that I can share some of those quotes on my Tumblr, because they are really inspirational. And I think that hope is a very